On this episode of Exactly How, you're going to learn how to avoid the big profit-killing mistakes. We're going to break it down in renovating mistakes, buying mistakes, and selling mistakes on this episode of Exactly How.
You're listening to the Exactly How podcast, where you'll hear the underground, closely guarded wealth-building secrets of successful people around the globe. Discover exactly how to improve your mental, physical, and financial health. Feel better, make more money, live, give, and prosper in today's exciting, fast-paced world filled with opportunity for those who know exactly how.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Connected Investors podcast and YouTube show. During this episode, you're going to discover exactly how to avoid common house flipping mistakes. For those of you who are new, my name is Ross Hamilton, today's host and CEO of ConnectedInvestors.com. And today we have the privilege to learn from a woman who started as a real estate agent, but realized real estate investing was the place to be. Prior to a career in real estate, she actually owned and operated a couple of TCBY frozen yogurt shops right out of grade school. That actually all changed when her mom passed away, and she realized she'd been playing it safe her whole life. And to properly pay respect for her mom, she wanted to kind of go bigger, went all in, got into real estate, and hasn't looked back since. I would describe our guest as very passionate. So I'd like to introduce you all to the one, the only Debbie DeBerry. Hey, thank you so much for being here.
Hey, I'm super excited to chat with you today, Ross. Thanks for taking the time.
Yeah. This is a really important episode because you can learn from your mistakes, or you can learn from someone else's mistakes. And I'd rather have the blueprint on what not to do a lot of times than the blueprint on what to do.
For sure. Yep.
This is going to be really important for people.
Yep.
Debbie, before we dive right in to how to avoid these mistakes, you contribute a lot of your success to your resilience and resourcefulness. Why do you think this has played such a big role in your success?
Yeah, for sure. What I see a lot of people, their shortcomings in real estate investing, or really just entrepreneurship in general, is how they respond when something unexpected comes up. So something unexpected comes up, and do you go and bury yourself in the covers for days? Mm-hmm. Or do you maybe bury yourself for like 5 minutes and then, stand up and go figure out, all right, this is what needs to be done. And any action is better than no action. So for sure, just being able to roll with the punches and, make a decision. If it's not the right decision, make another decision. But just to keep going like that. But people get so hung up in perfectionism but I want to make the right decision. And, it's just like, just make a decision, really.
Well, yeah, I mean, no decision is a decision.
Totally. Absolutely. I say that all the time.
Yeah. When I heard that from one of my mentors, I was stuck on something, and he's like, well, you're making a decision right now. You're not making a decision. And
exactly.
There's one thing that every successful person will agree with. You will fail your way to success every time.
All day long, man. For sure.
Road to success is just filled with a bunch of failures. So if you're failing, good job. You're actually
right. It doesn't mean it's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's I have a daughter. She's like 2.5, and almost every day, at least every week, I read her All the Places You'll Go.
I'll love it.
By Dr. Seuss.
Yeah.
Good book.
Yeah, so great.
It talks about just getting hit, and you're going to be in a slump, and it's going to be hard, and you got to pick up. So anyway, great book to reread even as an adult.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a great message.
Yeah, and
for sure.
And Debbie, a lot of the hosts that we have on our show, they have a very similar attributes on being resilient. Everyone that's a real estate investor has lost on a deal or two here, and it's important to pick up. So we're gonna try to limit those mistakes, right?
Yeah, let's do that.
We want you to be moving as fast as possible. So you're gonna be learning from the mistakes of thousands of others. And for anyone who's new to this podcast and YouTube show, remember, each show comes with a detailed action plan and some great gifts. So if you go to exactlyhow.com, if you open up the description of this YouTube video, you'll see tons of great links, different ways to connect with myself and our guests. And go ahead and visit exactlyhow.com to get all the show notes. If you're driving, you don't have to worry about taking notes. And what Debbie's been kind enough to do is actually provide you with a fantastic PDF where you can download a lot of the mistakes we're going to talk about here, put them somewhere you can see them, and make sure you don't fall victim to those big mistakes. Plus, when you visit exactlyhow.com, you can throw your name into the hat to win our $3,000 deal finding software that finds you the best off-market deals. There's no agents. There's no BS. It's just, here are the best deals in your area. Vacants, pre-foreclosures, probates, pre-REOs, auction properties. It's all there. So a big mistake would be not visiting exactlyhow.com and at least trying to win this software. There's even a demo on exactlyhow.com of the software, so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. So number one, make sure to visit that site to get the free gifts and everything we're going to be talking about here. So let's go ahead and jump right into this. So Debbie, I often like to, start the show off with defining, a technical term that we're talking about here, but we're talking about mistakes. Everyone really understands what a mistake is. Before we go into these common mistakes, can you just talk a little bit about, maybe some mistakes that you've personally made and been able to come back from?
I think every single one of these that I'm about to tell you, I have made. I think especially beginners, we all want to save money everywhere we can. And we worry that any dollar that goes out is more money out of our pocket. We don't realize that sometimes that's just more of an investment, and you're actually going to make more money on the back end if you spend a little bit more money doing things the right way, right? So, like I said, I'll get into most of those things here soon, but a lot of times it's trying to save money instead of doing something the right way the first time. Or like I just went through this on a project I'm working on right now, where I didn't realize that this contractor wasn't doing something the right way. I thought we were on the same page, like it will be done the right way. And, now we're having to go back, rip that specific thing out and start it all over. But I will sleep better in a month when somebody else is living in that house, right? And knowing that, okay, that electrical hazard I don't need to worry about that.
Yeah.
But it's just doing things the right way sometimes, and we get so, it's a mindset thing because it's a lack, right? If I put too much money out there, what if it doesn't come back?
Yeah, no, that's doing things right the first time is such a time saver.
Yeah.
And if your time is worth anything, do your best to do everything right the first time. And I know you're going to be talking about this, renovating mistakes, but setting your contractors up for success, setting anyone who works for you up for success, whether they're fixing something or they're working for you, connected investors, and they're writing something, just being very detail oriented on exactly what they're trying to do and go over it with them a few times. It might take a little more time, but then it's their fault, not yours. So anyway, yeah. I'm excited to go through this. So let's, before we jumped on this podcast, Debbie and I broke the mistakes up into buying mistakes, renovating mistakes, and selling mistakes. So Debbie, top buying mistakes that real estate investors make. Go ahead and take it away.
All right, cool. So number one is ignoring the nuances of the neighborhood. Meaning just because there are two houses, let's say there are two houses that are both 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage, around 1,500 square feet. Okay, basically the same house. They're on very different streets. You can't assume that just because it's a similar house in the same neighborhood that they're going to have the same value. You have to understand the nuances of the neighborhood. Some streets sell better and for more money than other streets. Why? We don't always know why, but understanding those nuances, if I would say at least monthly, I have random people, local investors reach out to me asking, Debbie, I need your advice. I don't understand why my flip isn't selling. And usually it's because they just did not pay attention at all to what was going on in the neighborhood. They saw what they thought was a good deal and they got antsy and they just jumped on it instead of really understanding those nuances. And I understand that as a beginner, you might not know the nuances. I was in real estate, so I was a real estate market nerd, right? Already. You might not know that. So get with a real estate agent who knows those nuances. It's invaluable, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, a comp right down the street, might be looked around the corner. It might be good to say, hey, let me see some comps that were on this street that sold,
Exactly. Yeah,
just to see what the days on the market are. You know,
totally.
like, wow, this is, you don't have to be, a technical whiz to figure that out, but it's good. It's good to remember. Okay. So that's part of the location, and you can really get that down to a street address. So what are
Yep.
some other buying mistakes people make?
Yep. So number two is what I call not using the sniff test. So, when you are looking at a house, you're not just looking at the house. You shouldn't just be looking at the house in a bubble, right? You are looking at, okay, well, as I drive up to this place, what am I seeing? What are the streets like leading up to that house? What's the neighborhood like? How do I feel in the neighborhood? When I get out of the car at the house, what do I hear? Are there train tracks? Like, is there a very loud train going through the backyard? What do I see in the neighbor's driveway? Are there, lots of cars piled up? We want to look at it as a whole, because when we don't, like, the whole point is to give buyers what they want, where they want it, right? So if we can appeal to the biggest buyer pool possible, then we have a better chance of being successful in this business. And if we aren't looking at those things that other buyers will absolutely pick up on, they're going to hear, they're going to be looking, they're going to be like way beyond what you think they're going to be doing, they're going to be doing those things. So making sure that you have eliminated all of those things as much as possible. And if you haven't, again, it goes back to, okay, well, compare another house that has a railroad track in the backyard, right?
Yeah.
Like on the same street. Like, if you're not going to weed out all of those things, that's fine, but be super specific when you go to pull comps.
Yeah. Well, what I heard you say there is it's, really understanding your buyer, like their mentality when you're getting into that neighborhood. Is this going to be a rental property for you, or is this going to be a starter home? And, checking out the property at night. What does it feel like in your neighborhood at night?
Exactly.
What does it feel like and not that you really have this type of due diligence, but after a really hard rain, are things flooding?
Totally.
Like, I have one property I bought and I didn't realize that the front lawn turned into, I should charge more because it's waterfront when it rains.
That's good, man.
Just for like an hour or two, but my tenants literally have remote control boats that they put in their front yard, and the kids love it. So they're happy, but really what it is, ladies and gentlemen, is it's a negotiation point, because you can say, listen, I love this house. I wanted to pay you $130. The train tracks in the backyard are going to kill a lot of buyers. I can do $122 or something like that. It just gives you a way to nibble down at that price as well. All right. So we have the location, the feeling, and my wife, I'll tell you, as a real estate investor, my wife has since become a real estate investor in her own way, but it was so hard for us to find a house because the numbers had to work for me and the feeling had to work for her.
Totally.
I'm like, this is a great house, right? She's like, it doesn't feel right. Like,
yes.
That's not a line item on the appraisal feeling, but it is important. So
it really is.
Yeah. Thanks for bringing that up. All right. What else do we have on the buying mistakes?
All right. So number 3 is not buying title insurance. I think this I hope that fewer people are doing this, not buying title insurance. When I first got started too long ago, 13 plus years ago, it was really common for people to not buy title insurance, which is all fine and dandy. You might be totally okay. You might buy thousands of properties in your lifetime and never have an issue. And guess what? That one time where you don't have title insurance and you get burned, you will never not have it again. And it's, it all depends on the sales price, but it's $1,000. And I almost lost $65,000. If I did not have title insurance, I would have lost $65,000 on this deal because the title company screwed up on something. Yeah, I have I'm not going to go too deep into it. We have a lot of mistakes to cover, but I bought a property from someone who didn't have the ability to sell it. And he forged all these different names and he sold the property. I had title insurance,
I would have lost $250,000 if I didn't have title insurance.
Yes.
So it's anyway, that's a must have. All right, let's move on to the next one.
Totally.
Yeah.
Non-negotiable, man.
Yeah.
Okay. And then number 4 is trusting your untrained eye instead of calling a professional. So especially for beginners, if you do not know how to properly estimate a properly estimate a property, you better have a contractor with you, or you better have somebody who is seasoned and can do that, because messing up on that rehab estimate is
everything.
It is. Like, you can come back from a lot of things, but when you mess up on that rehab estimate, that's a big deal to try to recover from. So
yeah, I think people go in overly optimistic. And a lot of people on the line here are optimistic people.
Yeah.
Right.
Good.
So they go into a property and they're like, I can make this work. One of the first properties I ever bought, I didn't realize it, but if you put a marble on the floor, it rolls all the way to the other side of the room.
Yeah.
I missed a foundation crack.
Yeah.
And now it will be a permanent rental based on the price range, because I don't feel like fixing it. But yeah, exactly. It's really important to walk through with the contractor.
Totally.
Yeah.
And then that takes us into the 5th one, which is, not making the mistake of shortchanging the rehab estimate. So again, until you're really trained at this, walk the property with the contractor to get an accurate estimate. You are simultaneously looking at the comparable sold properties, because you've got to, at the same time, think, okay, this is the after repair value, but the after repair value is $300,000, but for what repairs and what renovation level? Because that's big too. Just because you change the flooring doesn't make it a $300,000 house. So really looking at those properties like that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, do you have any other, any thoughts on buying mistakes?
Let's see. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I got some stuff I'm excited to touch on, but I want to make sure that I don't
step on my toes. Get off my toes, man.
It might be something that you're about to say. So let's keep rolling.
Okay. 2 more. So this leads us into the next one, which is not using what I call pie in the sky ARV. So, when determining your ARV, there are these factors I think that you need to consider. So one is the level of rehab needed to achieve that ARV. So that's, again, why you need an accurate rehab estimate. And then something I say often, so people who listen to me are going to roll their eyes because I say this, but comparing apples to apples, right? When looking at the comps in the neighborhood. So the same property criteria, the same schools, the same everything, as close as you can get to being the exact same property. And then again, understanding the nuances of the neighborhood. So it's always best to be conservative, but not so much that it prevents you from pulling the trigger on properties, because I'm seeing that too. Like, if you're seeing multiple properties that you're passing up, you're seeing people buy them, renovate them, flip them for a profit, and it's not you, you've got a mindset issue there, right? Like, there are properties out there, you're still scared to pull the trigger, which I get it. It's a scary thing. And then the last one for buying is not checking the permit history. So,
interesting.
What a lot of people don't realize is when you buy a property, you're also buying the permit history. So if you end up buying a property that has permits that haven't been closed out, like somebody did in 2012.
I wonder who we're talking about.
Yeah. So, if you're not, you have these open permits, a buyer is likely going to make you close those out. So if you're opening up 20, 30-year-old permits, it's such a hassle. And I promise you, if you didn't know they were there, you didn't factor that into your budget. So there goes the budget. I've done that once. But since then, I have checked the permit history.
There you go.
Those are my buying mistakes to avoid.
Yeah. Well, that's very insightful. And, to sum a lot of this up, if you're getting into real estate and you've never wholesale the deal, or as we like to do at Connected Investors, micro flipped a property, then this is your first time for all of this. So that's why we always recommend, depending on where you are, how much time you have to dedicate, how much money you have, if you have the ability, starting off wholesaling is a fantastic way for you to start evaluating these, passing them to an investor, watch what happens, see it happen a few times, make money in the process, build a lot of good connections, learn from their mistakes that they're going to make, and then do your first deal. That was exactly how, exactly how I did it. And, plan on being 15% over budget and taking 15% longer, than you think, especially if it's your first time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
So some good, food for thought there. So now renovating mistakes. Let's go ahead and talk about these, because this could cost you big money. The buying mistakes cost you money in a few ways. Mm-hmm. Number one, if you know those ahead of time, you can negotiate the price down. So, and then also overpaying on renovation. So let's talk about renovation mistakes.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. So when renovating, I do have a few on here. So I would say cutting the wrong corners is a big one that I see. So when it comes to saving money on a flip, there are plenty of ways to do that without looking cheap, or, like a house flipper that doesn't really care about what they're putting out into the world. So I'm a huge fan of online shopping for materials. I spend way too much time doing it, honestly, but I'm going to get a really good deal on the pricing. But when you're trying to cut corners, or really you're just trying to reduce costs, right? Choosing the wrong rooms to skimp on the budget is a really big way that I'm seeing people, or I'm seeing newer investors kind of mess up, like not making the kitchen or the bathrooms or the master the top priorities, which those are the big three. So if you're making repairs that aren't really boosting those top three, those big three things that buyers are looking for, you don't want to skimp on that, basically. Like, don't skimp on those rooms. Like, for example, let's say the roof is functioning perfectly, right? Maybe it's worn in a few places. Maybe it just looks like, gosh, maybe I should just change that. And you end up replacing that, but you're thinking, oh, well, I'm just going to add that on the backside. It doesn't work like that. Like, don't take money out of your budget if that means you're going to be skimping on the big rooms that have a big impact on buyers, which
that makes a lot of sense.
Kitchen and bathrooms.
So if the roof is a little worn and you're like, should I do the roof or the master bathroom? Do the master bathroom.
Yeah, do the master bathroom. That's
Gotcha.
something. And then the next one would be ignoring details of the finish out. Like, I know that most contractors don't love the finishing part.
It's pulling teeth. I just met with one this morning.
Every time I think, this is going to be the time when it goes so smoothly and I'm not going to be on my hands and knees caulking the baseboards.
Yes. I feel so nitpicky though.
I do too.
I have this tape all over the houses that I'm putting everywhere.
I felt like the biggest jerk a couple weeks ago when I went to the property. I was like taking pictures of everything and I'm like, am I a jerk or do I really care? Maybe it's both.
A little both. You're very passionate. You want to have a great product that you can put your name on.
Hey, it's about relationships, right? That's how you make this. That's how you stay in the business a long time. Mm-hmm. So make buyers and buyers agents happy, have a good reputation, and you're golden. So yeah, knowing where to, not ignoring the details on the finish.
Not ignoring the details. Great.
Yeah. And then this one is a big one. And this is the last one I'll talk about.
Actually, hold on one second.
Yep.
Before you go into that, I know everyone's excited about it. I have to announce the winner of the pre-MLS software that we're giving away.
Sweet.
This person went to exactlyhow.com. They threw their name into the hat. It was absolutely free. They commented on our videos. They engaged with us. And that's really why we're here, to help you. When you go to the Connected Investors YouTube channel, you'll see it's just a library of fantastic information. All of our podcasts come with free gifts. So it's like a kid in a candy shop there. You can download all these great PDFs, these softwares. So this person took advantage of that stuff and we saw them really interacting with us. So the winner of today's pre-MLS software is...
Looking for a private money partner to fund your flips or rentals? Go direct to the source. PrivateLenders.com, a free marketplace that instantly matches you with up to 5 private money lenders to save thousands by having non-bank lenders compete to be your funding partner. PrivateLenders.com.
So the winner of today's pre-MLS software is Nick Hahn. Nick, congratulations. We'll be in touch with you shortly, get you all set up with this $3,000 software. For everyone else, you can go to exactlyhow.com and see the demo of it. All right.
Nice. That's awesome.
So let's go ahead and talk about this big renovation mistake.
All right. This is what I call using fuzzy math to account for unplanned expenses, right? So you go in and all of a sudden you missed several things, right? So you've blown your rehab budget and oopsies, you've got $4,000 worth of electrical work that you totally missed. And you're like, yeah, totally fine. I'm just going to raise the sales price and make up for it. It'll be fine. Even though the ARV that you first analyzed that deal with, it's still the same ARV. It didn't go up $4,000, right? So buyers, I feel like some investors think, well, if I add this, I'm just going to get it on the backside. Now, there was a time, 8-10 years ago where that actually worked. It doesn't work anymore. But buyers are getting savvier. The internet is like totally changing things where people are nitpicking and really like they want a deal, right? Even though it's seller's market everywhere, they want a deal. So they are definitely comparing houses online for sure. So using fuzzy math to account for those unplanned expenses, it's not going to work out, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, buyers don't care what you need to make in order to break even or make a profit.
They don't? The buyer doesn't want you to make a profit?
They care zero much.
Oh my God.
This much.
Hey, Debbie, anything else in the renovation mistakes?
That's it.
Seeing? All right. Well, I'm going to throw a few top mistakes here as well because my brain has been spinning. Having the wrong lending partner could be a huge mistake, paying too much for your capital. That's why what I'm going to do for everyone who is watching this on YouTube, in the description of this YouTube video, you can click on a link and get this book, The Insider's Guide to Funding Real Estate Investments. This is a real deal, no joke book. It was not self-published. The publisher paid me a lot of money to write this because our funding portal at privatelenders.com facilitates $5 billion a month in loan requests for real estate investors. So we definitely know a thing or two. So go ahead and click the description in the YouTube video here and download this book so you can find the right partner, because overpaying for your money is an expense, and not having the right partner could cost you big time. If a deal takes an extra month or two, well, it's tough. Actually, here's a little nugget. We're in Wilmington, North Carolina. Just had a big hurricane. Guess what? The lenders don't care about. Hey man, you had 6 months to get this done. I don't care if the hurricane put you behind 3 months, even though our town was shut down and they were flying helicopters of supplies, in here. It was crazy. So, now this investor writes in all of his contracts. He gives himself a 3-month automatic extension if there's a natural disaster in the area. And the lenders are all just kind of sign off on it, but it could help. It was a mistake that he made, cost him a lot of money. He had to pay a whole nother point. Anyway, so we're going to go and give you this book and enjoy it in the description of the YouTube video. So let's talk about selling mistakes. If you bought at the right price, if you didn't mess up the renovation, things are perfect. Now it's time to make the profit, to sell it. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, right. So this is the time where everybody's like, okay, I'm done. Right? Give me my profit.
Yeah.
You're not done yet.
Well, this is when like the Flip This House shows are done.
Right.
They show you like with the sledgehammer hitting a wall.
Yeah. Well, it just takes 30 minutes to flip a house, right? Like it's just 30 minutes, you're done. So yeah, when selling, these are the things that I see. So one being skimping on the photography to save money, right? So, I've got an iPhone, man, I'll just use my iPhone. It takes great photos. It does take great photos. And I promise that $100 to $125 you spend on a professional photographer, you'll make up for it. I promise you'll make that $125 back. So don't skimp. Here's the thing. First impression, it is so important. as cliched as it sounds, if somebody sees your photo online and it looks like a home, like just a photo that you took from your iPhone, I promise you that automatically they're going to devalue the property a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's right or wrong, they're going to do it. So don't give the buyer or the potential buyer any reason to devalue your property at all. So
they might not even show up.
Exactly. They're not going to show up.
Because the lighting wasn't right in the bathroom that you spent all the money on.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Yeah. Good point.
I'm sure the tile looks great, but when they can't see it, they don't know that. So, and then the next one is not staging. I'm a huge fan of staging. And I know that the $2,500 I spend on staging, I know that I make that up and then some when I sell.
Now, is there a certain price range that staging doesn't make sense or is absolutely like essential?
I want to say that I do. I would do it even entry level. Here's the thing. This is the difference maker. Is your end buyer a homeowner who's going to live in it, or is it an investor? If it's an investor buying it as a rental property, they don't care. So I would if that's the market, the neighborhood, I wouldn't stage that. Gotcha. But this kind of ties
back to your feeling. So they felt good about the neighborhood. Absolutely. They liked the pictures. They walked in.
Yep.
And it feels like home. They can picture themselves having a coffee by the bay window.
Absolutely. It totally plays into that. And that's what we're doing. We're not creating houses for people where we really are. As hokey as it sounds, we're creating homes for people. And when people walk in and feel that, you can't beat that. There is no comparison to a vacant house. And also, this is a big one. When people don't have something to occupy their eyes, they're going to be scanning around and they're going to see all of those little details that you skimped on. Mm-hmm. They're going to be seeing when you don't have furniture in the house.
That's a good point. That's a really good point. So if you have something you want to hide, make sure.
Yeah, exactly. Get a very long rug.
Yeah.
And then that's it. Those are the big three.
May I ask you? Yeah, this has been really helpful. Can I ask you a question about selling? So should the real estate investor, should the real estate investor be at the house?
Oh, gosh.
Right? Like, they're excited. I guess if they don't have a real estate agent, like, I feel like you can really screw up a sale when you're the creepy person following them around the house.
Yeah, you totally can. So if you can control yourself, I think if you can be cool, man, then yes, be there. But if you are because you're so close to it, you're emotionally and financially wrapped up in this thing, and you're so close to the end, right? You can smell it. It's so close. You just want that offer. But I think you can totally make that if you're following them around and, oh, isn't this nice? And this is what we did here. And give people space. That's a good question. Yeah.
So should you put cookies in the oven?
Right. Exactly.
Hide the mold smell. Just kidding.
Right.
All right. No, this has been really insightful, and
awesome.
All of these mistakes and more are documented at the free PDF that Debbie has allowed us to give to you at exactlyhow.com. You can see all of her information there. Connect with her on social, and keep the conversation going. So, Debbie, I have a really important question to ask you here. That's life-changing. All right.
Uh-oh.
What do you think your life would be like if you never got into real estate and you were running yogurt shops?
Oh my gosh. I know what it would be like. I wouldn't be running yogurt shops. Yeah. Man, I was so fresh out of school, right? Like, I didn't realize that really what I was doing was babysitting 16-year-olds and filling in for them. But God, I don't think that I would have as much time freedom as I have. And I know that it sounds like such another cliche. Like, people say, I invest in real estate for time freedom, but I do. It means that in the middle of the day, when my 9-year-old son says, hey, Mom, will you come have lunch with me at school? I can be like, yeah, right?
Sure. Sounds great.
when he has a field trip that he doesn't want me to go on, I can go on.
You can be there and embarrass your son.
There,
okay.
Even though he doesn't want me there.
Yeah. So now you get to embarrass your son whenever you want.
All day long, man.
Yeah.
All day long.
That's great. And it's really great as a parent to, have this real estate thing dialed in, because it gives you the time freedom.
Yeah.
And it also allows you to teach your children about money and about investing.
Absolutely.
So, anything you can add to being a parent and a mother that's also doing real estate, some of our viewers would probably enjoy.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. For sure.
All right, great. You have time for the rapid fire section?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, here we go. I'm just going to ask you questions. First thing that comes to your mind. All right. God. And it's been fun because we've asked, 50 millionaires these questions. So it's cool to start to compile the survey data that I didn't even realize I was doing. I saw this on a podcast and I thought it would be fun. So
Awesome.
All right, here we go. I'll let you finish your water there. All right.
Thank you.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how strict were your parents?
4.
Get up early or stay up late?
Get up early.
How many hours of sleep do you get?
6 to 7.
Favorite or most recent book that you read?
Most recent book is, I'll go with favorite, Think and Grow Rich.
If you could be any superhero, who would it be?
Oh man. I would have to, the first thing I say is Wonder Woman.
What is something, the guys say Superman if they don't have if they don't have a thing. It's just this, the Wonder Woman movie was awesome.
It was awesome.
It was out a little while ago, but it was darn good.
It was.
Here's a fun question. What is something everyone should do less of?
I want to say they should look at their phone less. That's, yeah.
What'd you say?
Working.
What'd you say?
I'm working on it.
Yeah. What is something everyone should do more of?
Go outside. Hang out outside.
Bitcoin, bang or bust?
Oh gosh. Bust.
All right. Will people visit Mars in your lifetime?
Oh man. Yes.
Good. Yeah. I really hope so. I'm rooting for it.
Yeah. So is my kid. He's planning on it being him. I'm like, okay.
There you go. Hey, actually, Elon Musk is selling one-way tickets.
There you go.
He can get you there. Probably.
That's hilarious.
I think it's like a 6 to 8 month journey. So you can grab all your favorite books.
Man.
You can study, you can learn a language, or I don't know.
I would have a massive panic attack, unfortunately. Like
6
that
months.
Just freaks me out. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, actually this is kind of off the normal process of this show, but since you mentioned your favorite book is also my favorite book, will you tell the listeners why Think and Grow Rich is your favorite book? Oh
man, it's my favorite book because it's the first one that I read that I felt like I got. So I got the messaging, I got the mindset stuff about it, and I got the business stuff about it. So for me, it was the first one that really combined everything in a way that resonated very deeply with me. And I read it at least once a year. I always come back.
Me too.
Yeah, it's such a quick and easy read.
Actually, this year I started to pick up my Think and Grow Rich book, which is the first one, still the original one I have. I've literally had to tape it back together.
It's awesome.
And I came across the Master Key system. Have you heard of that?
No.
Go on YouTube. Most of you are probably on YouTube. The Master Key system. I would, as Think and Grow Rich's #1 fan, I would say if you've read that book already, you could be ready for the Master Key system. It actually came before Think and Grow Rich.
Oh.
Which another reason I love Think and Grow Rich is because it's from the days of the American Titans.
Yeah.
And Napoleon Hill was there with them, interviewing them, and
so cool. It gives me chills. It's so cool.
Yeah. So this book goes even a step further back, and I think Napoleon Hill definitely got some influence there. So the Master Key system. I'll make sure to have links to this in the YouTube description here. This way you guys can kind of pop over to one of those videos after this one. But thank you so much for being on the line with everyone.
Oh man, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. And everyone else who is with us, you made it to the end of the show. Congratulations. You finished what you started, or maybe you just couldn't reach the button to, to stop Debbie and I talking. Either way, you're here with us now. So thank you so very much. If you got any value out of this at all, give us a thumbs up, a share, a little comment. Let us know what you learned. Let us know what you want to learn. We have some amazing archive at exactlyhow.com of tons of these that take you through real estate investing from A to Z, all the way through it. And we have some of the best yet are coming. So make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel right now. Jump on our podcast, subscribe there. You don't want to miss these. These are the shows that are going to keep you moving and keep you going when the times get tough and when you do make a mistake. So remember, it's okay to make mistakes. Yeah. Definitely just learn from them.
Yeah.
That's the important thing. So Debbie, thanks again for being here.
Thank you, Ross. I appreciate it.
All right, everyone. I'll talk to you on the next Exactly How show.
The Connected Investors app connects you with investors, notifies you of available properties, helps locate cash buyers, and secure private funding to close deals. Set up in seconds to become a member of the Connected Investors social network. Now you can scroll through your main feed to find cash buyers, see investment properties not available to the general public, and network with investors by adding your own comments to a thread to keep the conversation going. The Control Center is your connection to add properties to sell, start new discussions, connect with local investors, and even find private funding. The Notifications tab will keep you alerted to new investment properties and offers. You'll also find new friend requests to connect directly with the community to build your network. From the property marketplace, you'll be able to find, favorite, and make offers on investment properties. Download Connected Investors today to find, figure, fund, and flip investment properties on the go.